Today's one of those days where I decide to just turn on the camera and go. I don't know how long this is going to be, or if any of this will make any sense to anybody. I don't care. This is for me. You know, I think it's important for me. See, I remember being poor as a child. And not because as a child I felt like there were things I didn't have, but now as an adult I can look back and go, yeah, we were poor. But you wouldn't see it on my father's face. You wouldn't see the internal struggle he was dealing with. Like, I remember being 12 years old, and we had what we called $5 days. And $5 days was when he came home from work, he would take us to wherever we wanted to go, McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, corner store, whatever. And you had $5 to get whatever you wanted for dinner. And man, I remember thinking that was like the coolest thing. Like, I can have anything I want. He's like, yeah, anything you want. You know, it couldn't be candy or anything, but food. Anything you want, go for it. And once every 2 weeks, when he got paid, we either got a $10 day or we had what was called Beyond Day. And it was only called that because there was a sub shop near our house called Beyond Days. And we could go there, and the subs there were slightly over $5, but not quite $10. And it was just, we looked forward to Beyond Day. Like, that was, yeah, it's Beyond Day. We're gonna go get subs. We enjoyed that. And while we were out, he would stop at the gas station. He'd say, anybody got to use the bathroom while we're here? And we go, no, because the water in our house was turned off. And he wasn't necessarily trying to disguise that, but he was doing his best so that we wouldn't know that there were problems. He just wanted us to have a happy life. And I wonder how much of that bothered him internally. Like, how much did he have to deal with on a daily basis? And now, as a 42-year-old man with a 20-year-old son, and having been married for years, which is so weird to me. Like, that's my resume now. I'm a grown man. I'm married and I got a son, and, you know, I live on my own in California. And, you know, and I work 50 hours a week to provide for my family. Like, that's my resume now. And I deal with things that I have to deal with. And I try to deal with those things in such a way that I still come off lighthearted and friendly and approachable to my family. I don't want you to see me stressed out, because what does that get me? Like, and it's not like internally I'm like, there's just war raging inside me and I don't know what to do with it all. It's just I deal with a lot of things. If the rent's going to be late, I'm the one who has to deal with the landlord. If I get a call from Comcast because there's a late payment, they call me. You know, and I'm the one who has to come to some sort of agreement with them. When it comes to SMUD, if I need to pay my SMUD bill but I'm going to be late, I'm the one who has to take care of that. And it's not a complaint on my end, but for as well as we are doing with money, I also understand that our time of we're doing great with money is coming to an end. You see, in about a week and a half, this job will be done. And there's been no indication of anything about new assignments or like this meeting that I've been told we were going to have. There have been no indications of that at all. And I'm watching as co-workers and some people who I would consider friends, mostly associates, but I've watched as they've gone from 45 hours to 24 hours to 18 hours. I've gone so far as to see some people only getting 5 hours a week. And while my schedule remains unaffected because I'm a supervisor, which is nice, I still know that the end is near, which means I have to go down to the unemployment office and I have to file for unemployment. There will be no issues with filing for unemployment. But these are still the things that I have to deal with on a daily basis. I am making sure that we have enough money to have rent for July. Making sure the other day my wife's having a bad day that I can squeeze $40 out of the budget so she can get goodies. I fostered this atmosphere of anything you need will always come off the top. And she always is like, "Are you sure? Because I don't want to." And I always cut her a look like, "Hey, I got it." And I do have it. But it requires a lot on my end to make sure that we got it. You know? And it's the sort of thing that, as a husband, I deal with. As a father, I deal with. Because my 20-year-old son wouldn't know how to make a settlement agreement with the landlord. You know? Because my wife, whom has never had to deal with that kind of thing, wouldn't know how to go into it and set up arranged payment dates for the SMUD account. Like, I can't have an intelligent conversation with my wife about unemployment. She's never gotten unemployment. She doesn't have any idea how that system works. And that's not saying, oh, she's stupid or she's ignorant. She isn't aware. It's just not an aspect of her life she's had to deal with. But guess what? I do. And I do so with a smile on my face and a song in my heart. I do so proudly. I'm proud to be the one who does that. I'm proud to be the one who provides for this family. I'm proud that all roads go through me. It's a wonderful feeling. It's pressure, but it's a wonderful feeling. I love being able to take care of my family. But in doing so, and being the head of a household, as being king of a castle, there are pressures there. And I like to think that I deal with them in stride. Like, you see these videos, I'm lighthearted all the time. And I try to be that way and stay that way. And I really needed to build that up so that I could get you to this point. Because herein lies the problem. There are little things around the house or in just day-to-day life that I don't deal with. I don't know how many garbage bags are in the kitchen. I don't know how much milk is left. I don't know what the best kind of carpet cleaner is. I don't know the best combination of Lysol to use when she cleans the toilets or the tub. I don't know any of these things because my job is just to make sure that everything runs smoothly. It's her job to make sure that, the house stays clean, there's food, that kind of thing. But then I find myself in this conundrum when my wife calls me and she has a complaint about leftovers being eaten. And I hear her and I understand that from her vantage point, this is a big deal. From her vantage point, this is, I cooked all day and I made sure that everybody has something to eat. But then when I put the food away, the food that I had set aside for myself is gone. And I get that. But it leaves me with this level of frustration Like, I'm torn between my wife is upset about something and she means it. She's really upset about it. She really needs I've wrestled with this. Sometimes it's just you just need to be heard, and there's no real resolution to it. I get that, but I'm torn between this insignificant speck means absolutely nothing to me. I could care less about the red Tupperware container and what that symbolizes. And, oh, I'll put it in this area of the refrigerator and that should mean this. I don't care because I don't go in the kitchen. I don't do any kitchen related duties. But I have to, one, address the issue because my wife is upset. I also have to deal with it because her feelings are involved. But I'm left with this distinct, I don't give a shit about the leftover food, but I need to be worried about how my wife feels. So when she comes to me and she says, there's a problem, food is being eaten, in my mind, I'm like, well, goddamn, what did you think it was for? Like, that's what you do with food. You know, you eat your fill, the rest are considered leftovers, and you put them away. And I understand that, and honestly, I've never liked when people have leftovers and then they just put the plate and they wrap it up, or some other people will even put a plate on top of that plate upside down and be like, haha, this is my leftovers. I've never liked that because it's a good way to fuck up a lot of your dishes and it looks tacky in your refrigerator. So she puts it all in Tupperware bowls. But when it's in Tupperware, how are we to differentiate what's a leftover and what's a your leftover without some form of communication? You know, like she brought up this instance where the other day Kari ate some pepperonis that she had a plan for. And I can understand why she wouldn't want to have to sit down and individually write on everything in the refrigerator, this is what this is for, this is what this is for. You would just want somebody to be clever enough to say, all right, maybe this is something that will probably go in a meal. I won't touch it so that Asia can make her meals so that everybody can eat. I get that completely. I truly do. But when you put something in a Ziploc container, or Ziploc, is that what it's called? Is it really called Ziploc? It's like Tupperware or whatever. I guess Ziploc is just a fancy Tupperware. So when you put it away, and I understand that from your perspective, you put it there and it's yours. It's where you want it to be. It's where you need it to be. And then when you go back for it, it's not there. That's a little bothering. I understand that. But to anyone else, unless there was a little note on it that says, hey, this is for your dad, don't bother this, how would you know? How could you possibly know? So, in an attempt to garner some communication, because my son loves Asia. He does. Like, that's his mom. And the last thing he wants to do is upset her. Like, nobody wants to upset Asia, because when Asia's upset, the whole house is upset. And it's just not fun. Like, the whole mood goes down when Asia's unhappy. So, to garner some sort of communication between us, said, hey, sounds like you ate the leftovers, those were Asia's. He was like, oh man, I didn't know, it wasn't labeled. I just thought it was leftover food. And we were trying to avoid the incident where how last time she made macaroni and everybody was trying to be polite and not eat the macaroni, and then the macaroni went bad. So we were trying to avoid that issue. It's like, oh, these are leftovers. This has got meat and veggies in it or whatnot. We should probably smash this out quickly. You know? So he called himself doing what he thought was the right thing and eating leftovers as opposed to making something else. But of course, Asia had another plan for these leftovers because they were hers. And she has a right to feel that way. But also, I can see it from all sides. Like, Asia sees it from Asia's perspective. from the perspective of a woman who cooks and cleans, and when I set something aside for me, how dare you touch it? But I can also see it from Kari's side, where the last time that we didn't, out of courtesy, we let something go bad. Let's not do that again. So he tries to eat what's left over. I can take a step back and go, it's just fucking food. While I'm concerned about what we gonna do for rent in August, I don't want to be worried about who ate the beef and broccoli on a Monday afternoon. You know, there are bigger fish to fry for me. And I just don't think she's getting that. So I walk this line between I don't want to hurt her feelings, but I need her opinions to be heard. But also, I don't want to say her opinion's wrong. It's just from a limited perspective of honestly things that when you deal with the things that I have to deal with mean nothing to you. Nothing. Like food is food. Food is meant to be eaten. You want people to be able to eat. That's what it's for. You know, and I think I make unnecessary pressures for myself. I'm so busy trying to be the man that my father once was, where he deals with these sorts of things internally. But on the outward side, he's just a smiling and happy. You know, he was so easygoing and personable and approachable. And, you know, I want to be that, but also there's shit to do. And I realized that that's not the healthiest attitude to have. So I deal with my own shit in my own way. Like, there's no reason to sit down and worry my wife about, you know, what's going to happen in August or September. Why? Because I'm on it and I'm going to take care of it. Like, I live up to the expectations of what she thinks I am all the time. All the time. And I'm fine with that, you know? But in doing that, any one little thing, something as little as, I can't believe you didn't eat the macaroni, or I can't believe somebody ate my leftovers, is enough to send me over the top. It's enough to irk me in such a way that the delicate balance that I have between home life and work life and responsibilities as a father and a husband, as responsibilities of a king of a castle and the head of a household, when you introduce one new thing, especially something that's so insignificant but needs to be treated like a major event, throws me off. Let me be very clear. Let's have an honest conversation. Fuck food. I don't give a shit about leftovers. I don't care who ate the last of the chicken and broccoli. What I care about is that when I come home, there's chicken and broccoli for me. You know who handles that? Asia. You know who has to deal with that? Asia. That's her job. That's her function. And don't anybody who watches, look, don't give me that, oh, women can do whatever. Look, that's the arrangement. That's how this works. I bring home the bacon, you cook it. That's it. There's nothing else to it. And it works for us. And it's fine. But when I'm given this insignificant little thing, but in her mind, it's like, it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal because my feelings are hurt. And I need to acknowledge her feelings as significant because they are. But you have such strong emotions for such a petty thing. It's like, don't you realize there are bigger forces at work in the world? Don't you realize that this time next month, I have no idea what's going on with money? Like, Those are the things that I'm worried about. I'm not concerned about the macaroni went bad or how much milk is in there or I can't believe somebody ate my leftover. I don't give a shit at all. Not even a little. But what I do care about is my wife's feelings. So I juggle this. There's this balance of trying to find a way to acknowledge her feelings, to justify that emotion, because there's no such thing as a wrong feeling. How you feel is how you feel. I accept that. But I'm juggling between, okay, baby, I need you to understand that I acknowledge this is how you feel, and I'm sorry that you feel this way, but I don't give a fuck about the topic. And then she'll say something like, "Oh, I'm just being a bitch. Just say I'm being a bitch." But if I say, "Yeah, you're just being a bitch," well, now she's all butthurt about it. And that's not me acknowledging that her feelings are legitimate. But I can't fathom why that kind of thing would be so important to her. I guess one could argue that she wants to make sure that I have all the things that I need when I come home from work. And that would include having a meal prepared. And if that meal isn't in there because someone ate the leftovers, well, it sets her back a bit, and now she has to get creative and do something else. But guess the fuck what? Just do something else. Like, I get that. You have to improvise. You have to be on the fly. You have to be flexible. You have to be ready to, okay, this plan didn't work for whatever reason, new plan. And, and I do that all the time. I do that all the time in my life, where I'll have something set aside or planned that I want to do, but something else comes up that requires my attention. And rather than taking an hour and a half to be butthurt about it, I just suck it up and I go, I have something to do. I realize that there's something that I need to do, and me whining about it isn't going to change it. So I don't whine about it. I just get it done. Look, my job is simple. This is a simple job, and I'm very lucky. I really am. It's like I don't very rarely have to go out there and get into action. But when I do, I do. When I do, it's some serious shit. When I do, it's two dudes jacking off in front of trains, and I'm the one who has to deal with that. When I do, it's me talking the guy out of suicide because he wants to jump in front of a train because he lost his job and his girl left him. When I have to, it's me going down to Sunrise and telling a man who just wants to get home that he's not allowed on the train because he's homeless and he pissed on himself. And even though he's got proper fare, I have to deny him service because he's stinky. Is when I have to turn it on, it's me pulling people from under the ramp of the train station because they just want to sleep there because they don't have anywhere else to go. Like, these are the sorts of things that I deal with all the time. And I do them on a daily basis. And I do them in such a way where I try to be hospitable to that person. I try to be as courteous and respectful as I can. But sometimes we got to get into some gangster shit. So I have to be able to differentiate between the two. So after I've just talked a guy down from suicide because he didn't have anything to live for because his girlfriend left him, I don't want to sit down in my truck and try to decompartmentalize what just happened and then hear about somebody ate the fucking leftovers. I don't care. I don't care. I get that that's all she has to worry about. But in my mind, it is as trivial as it sounds. That's all you have to worry about. That's it. Food. Vacuuming. Does the Brita work? Do we need a new Brita filter? Oh, guess I gotta clean out the vacuum because it's a little dusty. Like, Those are the things that you have to deal with on a daily basis. And I'm proud of that because you don't have to deal with the types of things that I have to deal with. But here I am dealing with the things that I have to deal with, but then I got to hear about fucking leftovers. Then I got to hear about, can't believe there's a mess in the bathroom. It's like the entire bathroom is a cornucopia of oils and girly shit. If it was up to me, it would be one bar of soap, one towel. That's it. But she overcomplicates these things because it's all she has. And I get that. And I'm a proud husband to know that all my wife has to worry about is food. I'm a proud husband. Her position in life is like that because I allow it. Because I do what I do, so that's all she has to do. I can't imagine her having to deal with all the things she has to deal with and then also worry about money, and then also worry about bills, and then also worry about finances, and also worry about what's going on here. It's a lot. And no one should have to do that. Alright, here comes She gonna come talk to me? I hope not. Like, I'm dealing with enough. I don't want to roll my window down. It's fucking hot out there. It is my honor and privilege to be able to provide my wife a lifestyle where all she has to worry about is food. But if that's all you have to worry about, just fucking deal with it. Just handle it. And this would all be handled so much better if there was just some method of communication. Knock on the door. Hey, Kari, I put all the shit in the thing. If you want some more, here's some stuff. Like, that's a 2-minute talk, if that. And then I would solve everything. But instead, she wants to keep it to herself and fucking sulk over it. And then I end up feeling bad because, I guess I'm just being a bitch. I guess this is all Asia's fault. Why am I being such a fucking bitch? Don't worry about it, honey. You'll never hear about it again. And it's like, oh, honey, I don't want you to feel like you're a fucking bitch. Like, I get why this is your area of the house and this is important to you, but it's just not important to me. Like, when it comes to things that she's interested in personally, like, I'm not a period piece guy, but my wife enjoys period pieces. I get that. That's cool. But it's just not my cup of tea. But when they're on and she wants to tell me about something that's happening in her show, absolutely, because this is a thing that's important to you and I want to hear about it. I want to hear about the things that, bring you joy and make you happy. What I don't want to hear about the complaints about somebody didn't eat the macaroni or somebody ate my chicken. Like, those are not the sorts of things I want to worry about. Yesterday I came home from work, and I guess while Asia was cooking, and Kari and his girlfriend had come to pick me up from work, there was a bug that had gotten in the house. And Asia flipped out, and she just started spraying shit all over the house trying to kill this bug. And she killed it. Congratulations. She dealt with it on her own. But when I got home, she wanted me to pick up the dead bug and throw it away because she's terrified of bugs. You know what? I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. No big fucking deal. Sure, you need me to pick up a bug? I'll pick up a fucking bug. Or if she wants to tell me about some new hair care product that she just got because she wants to keep her hair a certain way because she thinks I like her hair a certain way, then yes, please, I would love to hear about that. Absolutely. But I don't care about the day-to-day operations of what goes on in my home. That's why I have you. That's why you deal with this shit, so that I don't have to. If there's a problem with communication in the house, how about we solve that by actually fucking communicating? It makes it sound like I live in this chaotic household, and that couldn't be any further from the truth. We're a happy, loving family, and we love the fuck out of each other. But sometimes, my wife just don't get it. Sometimes, like, and I don't want to say that Kari's got the right attitude, but Kari knows that I deal with shit on a daily basis. Kari knows the kind of shit that I have to put up with. He might not know the ins and outs of it. He might not know what those things are, but he knows enough to know that I'm dealing with things so that he doesn't have to. So he doesn't come to me with the petty trivial shit. The same should be said for my wife. I don't want to deal with petty trivial shit because I'm dealing with monumental shit that's going to shift the way we do things in our home, like to the point that we might not even be here anymore unless something changes. Let me deal with that, not who ate the fucking chicken. You know? I love my wife. She's the most wonderful woman I've ever met in all the world. She's warm and loving and caring and attentive and affectionate. It's like, what a woman. Any man would be happy to deal with her. And I'm privileged. I realized that I married way above my pay grade. She could clearly find somebody way better than me. I get that. But it don't change the fact that for the last year, I have not worked less than 40 hours. Like, I've worked as many as 72 hours in a week. I've worked as little as 45. But it's above and beyond what I need to be doing. That's more than I need to be dealing with. But I do so that we can have the things that we need. So that we can have the things that we want. So that my wife doesn't have to worry about it. I've seen her when she had to worry about money. I saw how much it hurt her to have to get up and go out to VF Outlet. How much it hurt her to come home and wonder if her effort was enough. You should never feel that way in my home. And now I'm fortunate enough where she doesn't have to do that. But also, deal with the things that you do have to deal with. The day-to-day operation of a home is what needs to be taken care of. Let me make sure there's a home for you to take care of, and then you take care of it. I probably sound like a dick. I probably sound like a complete douchebag who's not taking his wife very seriously. I don't want that to be the case. Because I love my wife and she is my partner. She is my partner in all things. But partners have to pick up the slack. One partner does one thing, the other does another, and those two things shouldn't conflict. Let me deal with what I deal with, and you deal with what you deal with. I don't get why that's so hard. So now I've got this disgruntled woman on my hands who feels like I'm lying to her because all I wanted to do was convey to my son, hey dude, next time before you grab something, just make sure, and also I'll have her, if there's something that she needs to put away, I'll convey to her that she needs to be very specific. And he was like, yeah dude, communication is the key. And it's like, yeah, fucking communication is the key. Like, I just feel like I'm repeating myself now. I'm tired. See, these are the kind of things I need to be able to get them out because these are the sorts of things that my father dealt with. And that's why he spontaneously had a heart attack one day. How hard life must have been for him. If we're just being honest, the older I get, or more specifically, the closer I get to the age where my father died, the more I increasingly become concerned that I might not outlive him. You know, like the similarities there are so weird. I was almost 22 when I had Kari. He and my mom were about 22 when they had me. Both of them died very young, like 40s and 50s young. And now I'm in my 40s. And I'm stressed out about work. And I have my concerns about the future. But I keep it to myself. And I'm trying to deal with life with a sunny disposition, like I always do. But it concerns me that keeping it in and keeping it to myself could be what happened to him. And I don't want that. Wow, I didn't mean to be talking so long. I worry. I worry. I worry that the stress of my life will get to me. I'll have a heart attack and I'll be gone. And my wife will have a big enough time trying to deal with that. But if she makes such a big deal about who ate the leftovers to the point that we almost argue, or she has a certain tone in her voice, or she's that upset, how are you going to deal with funeral arrangements? How are you going to deal with the absence of my presence? Now that you have to step up, now that you have to be the one who does everything, if you can't, in your mind, find a way to deal with who ate the leftovers. I can't believe I'm out of carpet cleaner. I have to pick up more tissue. If those things weigh heavy on you, then the burdens of life are going to crush you. And that scares me. Not afraid of anything. Not afraid of death. Like people say, oh, nobody wants to die. No, I don't want to die. But I would have to think that being dead would be a lot like what was life before I was born. Just wasn't here. At least now, when I'm gone, there'll be memory of me. You know, my family will remember me. And I'll live on that way, the same way I talk about my father a little bit every day. Like, I'll still be here in some form. So that doesn't scare me. What terrifies me is that I'll be gone and my wife won't know how to handle it. It terrifies me that my wife will be ill prepared for the world. And she's going to revert back to, I don't know. All I want is for her to be happy. All I want is for my family to be taken care of. And now, at 20 years old, my son's ready. He's ready. If something were to happen to me, he could step up and get it done. But I worry about my wife. Is that a flaw? Is that a character flaw in me? Am I making too much of nothing? Will the tragedy of my death be enough to snap her into a place where she knows what she has to do and it just gets done? Or will she revert even further into this housewife mentality of, oh, I know daddy takes care of everything, so I don't have to worry about that. But now that I'm gone, it's up to you. and she won't know what to do. That terrifies me. That's the thing that I have nightmares about. That's what keeps me awake at night. That's what stresses me. I don't know what to do about it. Like, if I go, like, many times as I've been recording this video, I thought to myself, well, I'll just have this conversation with her. I'll just say these things to her and then she'll get it. But that's going to lead to a line of questioning that I don't want to deal with. How long have you felt this way? Do you think you're going to die? What makes you think that this is going to happen? I promised that it'll be this. Why would you feel this way? And now it's just unnecessary stress on her and it's unnecessary stress on me. So I don't want to just go to her and say that. Like right now, she tried, and since I've been doing this video, she has left me a text message. She has called me and she's left me a voicemail. And the text message was very clear. Hey, listen to the voicemail. You don't have to call me back. And I'm pretty sure that the message is something along the lines of, I'm sorry I upset you. I love you. I know you have enough to deal with. I'll just keep this to myself. I promise this won't happen again. I'm sorry if I ruined your day. I'm being such a bitch. I love you. And it's not so much. My problem isn't that there are little things in the house that go wrong. My problem isn't her feelings, because her feelings are always valid. My problem is that she feels this way. Like, this is not a big deal. Like, I'm sitting here talking about what's going to happen to me after I'm dead, and I want you to be okay. And you compare that to somebody ate the leftovers? It's two different things. And I just don't like to see her get so worked up over something so trivial. And if leftovers will send her over the top like this, imagine what my death would do. Imagine what would happen if I just want to be a good man. I just want to be a good husband and a good father. And I want to do for my wife what my father couldn't do for my mother. I want to foster a home where you don't have to worry about the big things. Let me do it. You just worry about the little things. But in doing that, I shouldn't have to worry about the little things. And I also want her to be prepared for, if something happens to me, what will you do? And I'm dreading going to listen to this voicemail because I'm going to hear the heartbreak in her voice and it's going to hurt me because I don't like that my wife is upset about something. So my reaction will be to comfort her or to ease her mind or make her feel better. But what sparked it was such a stupid, insignificant thing. How did you do it, old man? How did you do this every day? With different women too, no less. Like, you went from my mom to Otha. Yeah, that was actually her name, Otha. So after Otha dated Lynette for a while. after Lynette, I think he just kind of drifted. There was a lady named Alma, I think her name was. Then he resorted to mail order brides, and he dealt with Eve to the day he died. And having to deal with so many conflicting personalities and trying to be for them what they needed him to be. But how did you do it, old man? How did you? Man, what I wouldn't give for a conversation with you right now. Man, you could take a year off of my life for a 5 minute conversation with the old man so you could guide me in this, because for as much as I try to appear like I have it together, and for as much as I do have together, I'm so lost. I just want to be a good man. I just want to be a husband, a father. I want to be a good brother and an uncle. Yeah, uncle. Wrap your mind around. I just want to do right by the people that I care about. And I would like the satisfaction of knowing that I've done a good job